So today we thought we'd do a different kind of video. As photographers, both of us have thousands and thousands of images in our computers, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're a photographer also, so you know exactly what we mean.
Right, and we're always trying to come up with different things. What do we do with all these images? How do we share them? People are asking us online all the time, can we make prints of certain images and things like that? And it's okay to do, here and there once in a while, get a print out, but it's kind of logistically kind of hard to make one print at a time and get it out there. So we've tried selling, prints online, kind of in mass before. It doesn't really work out either, and there's a limited amount of prints you could even sell at one time before people, there's only so many prints you can scroll through to find the one that you want. So customizing one at a time is a little difficult.
And how do you price them? So these are all the things, but if you don't even have like an outlet to sell your images, what do you do with them?
Right.
That's the thing also. We happen to have a social media following that we can actually sell images to and products and things like that. But what do you do with your images? How do you do this? How do you get your stuff out there for people to see it? And today we thought we'd talk about that and try to give you some ideas and go through some of the things over the years that we've done and how it could maybe relate to you even on a smaller scale, with just friends and family.
Right. So in addition to the prints thing, which really isn't a great way to do it because it's very kind of one print at a time. We did 2 coffee table books. This is going back a few years now. Some of you guys are probably familiar with them, the Capturing the Magic books.
Yeah, these and this was work getting these out. I mean, this was not a simple. This took years,
right?
And it was a lot of work. The photography was actually the easiest part in this. I think it was tough getting this all together. Matching the writing to the images, and just the whole logistics of it, finding printing and shipping, and it was not easy.
Right. It was a collaborative process with the author. We kind of all worked together on it. But it was it was fun putting together, but it was a lot of work on the back end.
But, in hindsight, I love looking at these books, and I'm proud of these books, as I'm sure you are.
Right.
So on a smaller scale, you can make your own photo books, and they don't have to be, printed out of printer. There's plenty of online services where you can have books printed up, even 20, 30-page books that aren't going to cost you that much. You can give them as gifts, and I know I've done that with my personal images. So that's a great way to take your images and share them, give them out at the holidays, kids, you can, grandparents, all that kind of stuff.
Right. So books it was a great way to get them out. There's 250 pages, so hundreds of images in each book. It was a great way to get the photos out there and to share them with people.
Yeah.
So then we went a little bit of a different route after that.
Yeah. So phone cases were the next thing that we decided to do, and we took our images and that was a lot of fun. We created our DizCase business,
right?
And this was great. We sold a lot of phone cases to people that followed us online. But again, this is something that you can do,
right? Yeah, and the interesting part about this, and most images are shot. 80% of our images are shot in the horizontal format like this.
Right.
So we had to actually, find images that fit in more of a vertical format, and then we actually went out shooting with that in mind. And it was fun to do that.
Yeah.
But it's one image at a time, and it's kind of a fun more of an artsy thing because some of these are more abstract than others. But it's cool. It's a great way to have a really unique photo case that nobody else has.
Yeah. Again, if you're going to translate this to your life, this is a great gift for people. If you know what type of phone somebody has, you can have phone cases printed up with your images. Maybe, I'm trying to think like waterfalls are great because they're vertical. Buildings, architecture. You want pictures of your kids, grandkids. That's a great image to put on somebody's phone case, and they're always reminded because we all have our phones with us every day now, and that's a great way to share your images.
Yeah, and one of the challenges in selling these was basically just keeping up with all of the different phone models and phone brands and everything, because we had to basically lay out the designs that we were going to use and basically apply them to all of the different phone cases, and then every month or so to be a whole new line.
Yeah, it was a little tricky.
And so we had to, really stay on top of that. It was fun to do. It was fun to sell. It was more fun, I think, creating them, finding the format and things that fit like this, and then setting it up and, wow, that looks really good.
It was also fun to see which images of ours people bought, and they'd show us pictures of the cases, and it was really great. It was so this was a fun project, and another way that you can use your images, either to try to sell them or just get them out there in a different way.
Right. So something that we've been hearing a lot of questions on, do you sell prints? How can I get your prints? And when are you guys going to sell calendars? So that basically brought us to where we are now, is how can we get a lot of prints out there to people at, minimal cost, because, who's going to spend a ton of money on this stuff? You need something reasonable. And, calendars, as much as they're a little cliche as far as like making photo calendars and selling calendars of things, a nice calendar is really nice.
Yeah, it's a great way. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
So we're primarily using our Disney images. And so if you're at this, you just came to our channel, it says Bill and Eric Photography. We have an Instagram account and a Facebook page called Disney Image Makers, and we've been sharing our images for the last 7-8 years online. And through all the interaction with the people that follow us, they always want images. So
Right.
this is a way we can share it with them. So
Right.
we took our images and we printed them in calendar form.
Right. And we
So-
made specific calendars. So you can choose from Magic Kingdom, Epcot, World Showcase, Hollywood Studios, Disney Resorts, Christmas, Halloween.
Right.
We actually even made a calendar of like old retro stuff that's gone. Things
Right.
that are gone from the parks, and photos that we have, that things that aren't there anymore, which is kind of fun to look at.
But the thing that we like about this project is it's a drop ship kind of situation. We
Right.
design the calendars once, and then as they're ordered, they're created by the printer. So
Right.
we don't have to order 500 calendars or 1,000 calendars and take a financial risk. It's basically we get a percentage of the sale from each
Right.
calendar. So as a photographer, there's no risk really.
Right, right.
We sell some, that's great. If we don't, it's just the design time that it took us to do it. But what's really great about this, as far for us, is getting our images out there. And what you can do also is, when the people are done with the calendar, you can just cut it free from its binding, and you have an 11 by 14 image,
Right.
or a
8.5 by 11.
yeah, we have smaller calendars here, and these are easily frameable, and it's a great way to get your stuff out there as a gift or
Right.
to sell.
So it's a fun way to get the stuff out there. We had a great time putting these together, because
we
you're
got to go
basically
through
just
old
going through
images.
all of your images and finding like the really nice ones, the ones that you like the best. Sometimes the ones as a photographer that you like the best aren't necessarily as translatable to.
I found that too.
So you have to find one that people are going to relate with.
Yeah.
And something that they're going to want to see, and then making a quality product. We basically set all of these things up and then ordered a bunch of samples.
Right.
And when we got them, it was kind of like, wow, because
a nice surprise.
You don't see, we look at our images on our phones, on a laptop like this, on a computer screen, and you don't really see big, nice prints anymore.
And not
And
that
these
this is
came,
huge either.
no,
but
11
it's,
by 14
but it's
isn't
big
big,
enough.
but it's really nice to see. Maybe it's not just even the size. Maybe it's just the actual, like, the texture, the quality of the actual image.
Physically holding something.
So to actually physically hold something in your hand, and something that looks like a really nice image, it has a little bit of a wow factor when you open it up.
Yeah. So again, even if you don't have an audience to sell this to, this is a great way for you to get your own photographs printed at a reasonable price.
Right.
And even for yourself, if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to print 12 of your pictures at
Right.
11 by 14.
Right.
This would probably be cheaper than actually
Yeah. Oh,
printing 12 of your
absolutely.
pictures.
Absolutely right, yeah.
So you can build your own calendars.
Right.
And it's also a great gift. Over the holidays coming
Yeah.
up and for next year, it's a great way to get your stuff out there. Or if you wanted to create your own little page or something,
Yeah.
you could sell your own calendars, even to whoever the people you work with, friends and family.
Right.
Another great way to get your stuff out there and to make a little money on the side.
Right, and it's fun to do, and now we can kind of, we have in our minds, we've done the Disney stuff, we're going to add some Disney stuff to it eventually. We did one for New York City, we did one for waterfalls, and now we're kind of thinking, maybe there's other places we can go. Maybe we can go to a city and shoot that and, do a calendar based on that. Fun stuff like that, and finding other destinations. It's
motivating.
Right, it's something else to do. If you're a photographer, you're looking for a project, you're looking for something to do. Maybe you love lighthouses, so just go around, try to find lighthouses.
That's a good one,
within,
actually.
in your area, and go out and shoot them, and create something like this. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So that's where we're at here. We just thought this would be an interesting, because we have all these images, and I see them on my computer every day, and I want to get them out in the world.
Right.
And you know what? Also, don't be afraid to share your stuff online. Get your stuff out there. That's how we got started. We just started sharing stuff online, and people were drawn to it. So you never know. You never know who's going to find your stuff, who's going to share your stuff, and the more you put your stuff out there, the more chance you have of being discovered, and people start following you for your photography.
Yeah, and there's a great community of photographers online, on Instagram, on Facebook. We found right away that people would reach out to us. We've made a lot of friends and met a lot of people, other photographers who live in our area who we can get together with, people who are down by Disney who we can get together with when we're down there. A lot of opportunities come up. So there's a really good community of photographers on the social media side that you kind of get to meet, because everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's in the same position.
Yeah. So it's nice to actually get your stuff into something physical, though, and that's kind of the point here. I think is to try to get your stuff out into the world in a physical way.
Right.
Because once it's out there, it's great. I have you can't really see it, but hanging on the wall behind Eric there, I have a big print of a beach sunrise that I took with a pier in it, and I have pictures of my kids over here, and there's all over my house are my photographs, and I love that
Right.
I've actually printed some of these things in Eric's office. Someday he's got to show you that. That's a video you should do.
Yeah.
He had all these beautiful images printed around his office, and when you walk in there, it's just stunning. You walk in and one picture's nicer than the other, but they're images I've seen a million times on my phone, but when they're on a wall,
big
gigantic.
and bold, like 3 feet by 5 feet, really big images that fill up a room, fill up a wall. But at the same time, it's even though you've seen them a million times, it's kind of like gives it a nice homey feel.
It's impressive.
So,
okay, so that was pretty much it for this week. We just wanted to talk about that. Plus, we're getting our calendars out there, so we're shooting videos for promotion and things. So we figured while the camera was out, we'd make a video for the YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's what we've been up to.
Yeah, if you do want to check out our calendars just to get an idea of what it looks like, there's going to be a link in the description where you can see how we've set it up and the company we use to do this with, and then maybe it'll give you some ideas.
Yeah, check it out.
Okay, we'll see you in the next video.